Hello again. Um, Last week I didn't really discuss what I was going to be doing this month because I didn't fucking know what I was going to be doing this month. But I do now, obviously. The first two for goals that I decided to go on, obviously porn use. I talked about how I wanted to take up the challenge a little bit and just experiment. And then eating. That's something I want to keep up even in lieu of some issues. I would like to at least have the habit of eating properly. And then I decided to go back to sleep, or at least trying to establish a sleep habit that's not past midnight. So I went for just 11 o'clock, which is usually when my sleep thing goes out. But I also know that I can't force myself to go to sleep at that time. So it's more of just an alarm to head off to bed. I usually stick to within 10 minutes. So long as I don't go past 11:10, it'll count. Um, Now, have I been successful? Well, for eating and sleeping, yes. I've actually kept a rather consistent habit, but I did fail already. But it did give me some pretty valuable info. The only reason I did fail is because, well, it was pretty clear that my resilience was already running out at that point, which, fair enough. Again, I acclimated myself to being able to do it at least once whenever I want, every day of the week. This one, it took me 3 days, which I'd say for how things have gone and needing that break at 3 days is not bad. I do think I could have gone at least a day longer if I didn't decide to attempt just masturbating on my own. Which, I mean, sure, I guess it relieved it. Not really. Not at all. All I got was a deep sense of dissatisfaction and and the chaser effect to where I actually just really wanted to relieve myself because now all of them are in full turn and you gave in to them slightly, so fucking go. So I got some pretty good information. I can't do it at all, which I wasn't really I was fine with. I wanted to test that out to see if maybe I could curb some of the urges with it, as I discussed, didn't work. So, not a big loss. I did learn quite a bit, and it'll at the very least allow me to check how long I'll be resilient for. I also have certain barriers in place, which, yes, I can take them down, but again, I discussed how me having the ability to take them down might actually be a benefit in some sense. Uh, As a matter of fact, it did stop me multiple times when I wanted to. Of course, inevitably it didn't, because I wasn't able to outlast it, which is fine. Again, I don't have that big of an issue with it so long as I actually learn something and don't just give up. So, I'd say, despite not being able to complete that goal, I also implied to myself in under the goal that it wasn't going to work because under it, under the don't use porn for an entire month, depending on performance, change habits for next month. So if I was capable, theoretically, right, if I was capable of just getting out of it the whole month, straight up abstain for the whole month, I would probably just allow myself to do it once a week next month and see how well that goes. Whereas, say, if I ended up breaking super early and just couldn't break out of the cycle, next month I'd be working on that very hard. But so far, that was the only time I've done it. And I am actually looking to test whether or not my resilience is 3 days or if it might be four. Because again, I'm a little confident that I could have squeaked it out if I just didn't try to experiment a little bit, which also to be fair, also to kind of come down on myself a little bit. I should have been experimenting with how resilient I am at the start and not that, but it is what it is. Um, like I said, all my other goals are fine. Another thing that I've been having issues with this week, I've been feeling really restless and incredibly tired, very slow, which has hampered my work, especially for college, which I'm not satisfied with because I should be able to, based off of my own schedule that I'm setting out for myself, I should be able to complete two of my classes within like the first 2 days. And then by the time the weekend comes around, I'll have the next two because I'm working with 4 classes and it seems like I'm going to be working with 4 classes for my next semesters as well. So I should be able to complete the first two on like the first 2 days or within the first 3 days. And then the last 2 days are completely set off for the other 2 classes, and the weekend is for extras. But I wanted to adjust it because one of my classes posts my stuff on the weekends. So maybe I can get into a groove where I'm doing those on the weekends, getting a little bit ahead, being able to complete one of those classes within the first 2 days and sort of move the other 2 classes back a bit. That has not worked in practice because every time I try it, I am fucking exhausted, really exhausted, and it heavily affects how I work, which it is nice that I have a schedule that allows me to be very flexible with how I do things, but man, it is my mood or when I get work done heavily relies on my mood and my general status. So if I'm feeling like shit or feeling particularly tired, I'm not gonna get shit done. Whereas today, I wouldn't even say I'm necessarily like super energized. I'm kind of just I'll take a nap in the middle of the day and I'll probably be fine. But man, I've been trying to do that. I've been trying to implement that for the past 2 weeks, and yeah, maybe I can start this week. That's a fucking lie. It's already Friday and I still have 2 things to get done. Maybe I can implement it next week. And if I do, it might be super good, might be super handy. Whew. But otherwise, I'm still pretty tired. I got some shit to do, but I also got lunch to eat, so I will see myself next time.